All right, everybody, welcome back to the Siren podcast. I am Robert Pridgeon. Today I've got two awesome dudes, not actually in the studio with me. We are practicing social distancing and all that good stuff, so we are actually on a video call. I have the guys from Psilosophy and Medicineman. They have just dropped they're about to drop a brand new song where they have collaborated together, and they have a video as well. And they've spent like a 4 day challenge to create and make this whole thing. I'll let them talk about it in more depth. So thanks for sticking around. A couple of things I do want to talk about. I have an upcoming live stream that's going to be April 22nd. So if you have any original songs that you want me to feature on the podcast, make sure and send those in to me. Also, I have a tasty riff contest. So if you play guitar, bass, drums, you're a badass singer or a great keyboard player, whatever, send in something less than 20 seconds to me if you just wailing on your guitar, bass, singing, whatever. And I'm also going to feature that on the live stream podcast, and that is April the 22nd. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring in the guys. These are, let's see if we can get them in here.
What's up, man?
All right, there we go. All right, thanks guys for coming on. I've been checking out I checked out the new song and the new video, and it was something completely unique. I know there's a lot of, especially around here, there's a lot of bands that kind of are doing the same thing, and you guys' music slash video is completely different, and to me, it's very refreshing to see something that is not so cookie cutter in the box type music and visuals to go along with it. So, kind of tell me about what this song is about, or what y'all are doing, things like that.
You wanna speak on that first, Drew?
Hey, sure. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Well, to me, the song and the video is recursive. So it's a song about, the writing process itself, and as is the video. Also, that's the first time I've ever beaten a Final Fantasy game, so I wanted to log that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, for me, that song, I've never really gotten to work creatively with a more rock style stuff. Usually, I'm doing more of electronic music style stuff, and it's nice to mix the two together. It's the first time I've really gotten a chance to do it, and it ended up turning out quite well with kind of the hip hop and the bass style stuff under that guitar. Once I got it mixed all right and it's sitting where it needed to be.
All right, yeah, that's cool. So, essentially, maybe if we come back a little bit, Psilosophy is how would you describe that band? Is rock, kind of in a nutshell? Do you got a...
In the past, it's been sort of rock and roll. I've always called it like psych rock.
It's a good name.
Yeah, I don't know. We play some country sometimes, even. It just depends. Depends on the song, right?
Yeah, so it's more of a drums, bass, guitar kind of traditional type band, while Medicine Man's, you're strictly on the computer with keyboards and synths and things like that, right? And y'all...
Yeah, I use a lot of hardware synths. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what's cool is it's kind of a blend of those two separate areas and ways to make music coming together to make a...
And a lot of people get caught up thinking that you can't mix a lot of these genres together, especially around here locally in Hattiesburg. People tend to the bands seem to kind of like almost click out, you know what I mean? They all of them kind of they real hard genre pick, and it's been nice to like blend some of those genres together, because it starts getting the groups of people that come out to shows and everything to really come out.
Oh yeah, I love it when a band comes out and it's shocking. It's different. It's not like there's band A, band B, band see, and they get off stage, and you're like, I don't remember which one was which.
And yet, that's something you see in the big. I tour professionally doing music festivals and everything, and that's a lot of you even see it on the big stages, man. All the band in a day, you'll have every band sounds just about the same with their own little spin on it. And it's so much of an original style as it is like just like promoting that band's image and things like that. So it's nice to be able to come up with something actually different.
Yeah, I really dig it. It's awesome.
Yep.
So that I kind of backtrack just so everybody knows kind of the basis of what y'all are individually before y'all came together. So the new song, what's it about? Kind of tell me what even the process y'all went through to make the video and the song as well.
It kind of started with Drew hitting me up, and we decided we were going to do it, and he remotely recorded some guitar and some vocals and things, just a bunch of stuff for me to work with, and sent it over to me as all raw files. And I worked on it from there. I added all the drums and the effect sounds and modeled.
Definitely turned into a much bigger beast. Thanks to Dylan.
Yeah.
By the end of the video, I think this song's about holding the ball, about holding the bass.
Yeah.
Locking down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good first foundation because that's the first time we've really collaborated. So it worked out kind of being a great foundation song for us to work from now that we know how both we work together and what we need to accomplish, especially working remotely how we are. It puts a whole different spin on it when you don't have each other in the room all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
It took me 24 hours to get those tracks to Dylan.
Yeah.
Because of my upload speed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it adds a whole new dynamic to the song making process when you're having to almost interpret how the person felt when they recorded that track because you weren't in the room with them to experience what the vibe and everything that's a big part of writing a song together. But once you're able to do it remotely, it really opens up your ability to create with people because you're not stuck with just who's at the house or around here, especially this time where we can't be around each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good y'all are still, trying, making music, even though you can't be in the same room or, even, like you're saying, you can't feel what the song was supposed to feel like. You're just like, here's my track. I hope you interpret it the way I interpreted it when I made it. So I think it's really awesome what y'all are doing.
Yeah.
So
I know. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Speaking just wanting to be able to doing it remotely, yeah, like I said, it comes out you have to really have a chemistry to be able to do that. And a lot of these people that are this internet controlled culture right now is a lot of these younger musicians are kind of missing out because they're so used to using the internet remotely, so they can interpret people easier over the internet and everything like that. And a lot of these younger musicians I've noticed are kind of jumping on that and doing all this remote stuff, and it's really changing how stuff's getting made nowadays.
What's really blowing my mind about the younger generation, see, when I was growing up, it was if you wanted to record a song, you had to go pay essentially Mark Black, out of Moselle, $2,000 for 6 songs, and that's the only way around here you could really get a good sounding album. To have all that stuff in your house was ridiculous. I remember someone bragging about having 2 gigabytes of RAM in their computer, and I was like, that's a shit ton of RAM. And now my phone has double that.
Yeah.
And even music videos now, you see a local band that has one album, and I made this music video in my backyard, and it's like a professional fucking music video.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of opportunities, especially with the younger kids coming up. I'm jealous, is what it is.
I know.
I'm so jealous.
Because even when I first started this, I was using the DJ mixer I originally had. I used as my interface, but it was still all when you got it to the original 8 back in the day, back when the old school Ableton and all that. You couldn't route that all into Ableton. You had to do all kinds of crazy patching in the computer that barely freaking worked, and you still had to have it hard. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I used Cool Edit Pro and Fruity Loops for
Yeah.
that because they were free back then.
Cool
Yeah.
Edit Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And Audacity, just chopping up, just grabbing a bunch of samples and chopping them together. That's where I originally started, was doing that. And that was how times have changed.
Yeah, I mean nowadays Logic is $200 and it's got every plug-in and drum sound, anything you want. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, we're living in the future. Is what I think. So, Drew wanted to go kind of over how you've personally evolved from Dealing with the Devil. I remember seeing Dealing with the Devil play Float On by Modest Mouse, and I was like, finally somebody's playing some good covers. Yeah, it was sick. Usually people steer away from stuff, the most popular rock cover song is what we're going to play, but I was like, Modest Mouse, this is awesome. So I never caught Cats on Fire, but I did catch Dealing with the Devil a few times, and I thought it was pretty sick. And y'all had a music video. I don't know how y'all did that back then, but I mean, that was a pretty good music video itself, even back then. So I mean, that's awesome. So you wanted to start kind of like how you've progressed from Dealing with the Devil to Cats on Fire to where you are today. One thing, your hair's different.
Yeah.
For sure. It's rad. It's sick. But
yeah, it's been quite the journey.
How do you even go about starting dreads? Like, how does that even work?
Oh, I just had to go sit in the chair for about 8 hours.
Oh, someone just
tied
it up?
She had a crochet needle, and about 8 hours later, I had dreadlocks.
You sat in the chair for 8 hours? That's like that's like a tattoo process. That's awesome, though. Man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah, go ahead with your musical journey to now.
Well, I don't really know what to say about it. Really, I just thought maybe it was worth mentioning, mainly because of the music videos that are out there as anchors to see, then was then and now is now.
Yeah. Well, I have a short clip. Let me just play. This is Dealing with the Devil. When was this? All night long? The whole night?
A whole night long.
A whole night long. What was this, 2008?
Right.
9?
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, so here is a clip from their video. Yeah, so that was a clip from their video. I think what caught me in that video is where you hit that real falsetto note when you say, I guess you're saying alone.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
It's nice. I like that. So yeah, that was Dealing with the Devil. If you've caught them back in the day. So what do you say?
Back in the day.
Back in the day. What, 10. Has it been 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About, yeah.
God, I used to see older people saying that all the time, and I'm like, shut up. Now I'm walking around saying, has it been 10 years? Shit. Okay, so we can go ahead and debut this. Do you guys want to give an intro to it? Title of the song, things like that.
Have we decided on its title yet, Drew?
I'm still really torn. There is a title rendered onto the video. But I think I might have some better ideas. I don't know.
It may change from what's on there. I'm a terrible song namer.
Well, Well,
Me too.
what I have is Stone Cold Stir Crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty
Sure.
badass to me. I mean, but
All right, rock and roll then. That's what it is.
Third opinion, then we'll go with that.
Okay, so here
Yeah.
it is, everybody. This is the world premiere of Medicineman and Psilosophy with their track Stone Cold Stir Crazy. Make sure you're sitting down for this one because you might need a cigarette after.
Hiding from a virus. Start of the new year. It's not so bad. Every now and then. Wasting time. We never had. Missing out. Know that we're holding dear. Oh, that we're holding dear. The gods know we're going stir crazy. The soul show might have to fake it. The gods know we're going stir crazy. It's not so bad. Every now and then, wasting time. We never had. Ooh, that we holding there.
right. Let me adjust my cameras here. But yeah, that was the debut of Psilosophy and Medicineman. Sick. Yeah, it's like being on an acid trip or something. It's tight. I like it. It's majestic. We got Drew being super slow mo. It's sick. I like it. It's definitely
Yeah.
something new to the area. So I hope y'all are planning on maybe collabing some more, making some more, doing live shows maybe. What do y'all think about
Yeah.
that?
Once all this is over, once all this craziness is over with, we plan on doing some live stuff because you can do some really cool improvisation with stuff with music like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see one of those. I don't know. Y'all could probably think of something awesome to do at the show, but I mean, if you can make it like that video, people would be coming to your shows from all over the country. Yeah.
My goal kind of with this stuff is I have a relatively nice light rig with all the bunch of moving heads and everything. It's kind of doing the set up a visualizer setup where it's a video of the bands and the lights getting ran through like a kaleidoscope loop as a visualizer in the back of everything, and having like the full effect, not just the music, and be able to, like, once you kind of put the whole thing together with the visual aspect with the band, it really changes how people perceive it.
Oh yeah, lighting is one of the most underlooked parts of a live show. Just a simple lighting kit could turn you from a mediocre act to professional grade. Never underestimate lighting, people.
Yeah.
I saw a band one time that had they used projectors, and they wore white suits. Their drums were white. The back of the stage was white. The amps were white, and they would play scenes. So like the amp would turn into I don't remember who it was. If anybody remembers, let me know. But like it was you could make it look like the amp would turn into a little house or something based on like a projector going on. It's pretty sick. I wish I could tell you who it was that did that, but it was some band a few years back that did that. I think I assume the song was just debuted. I hope everybody liked it and goes and checks out both of these guys. Is there a place where you're going to be hosting this song, or is there a place you'd like anybody to go and visit? Website wise?
Sorry, my phone's been breaking up quite badly. I haven't been able to make out most of the conversation.
Well, I was just saying, is there anywhere where you're going to be hosting this video where they can go and check it out again, or is there any websites or anything that y'all would like people to check out?
I have my Instagram. It's Medicineman, at Medicineman Base on Instagram. I'll be posting it on there. And I'm sure Drew's going to be posting it on some stuff as well.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll be out there.
yeah.
And also here, you keep a log of every episode, so you can find it right here.
Yeah,
right?
it'll be here. So with a lot of the streaming and stuff going on, y'all might have caught some just glitches and stuff in the video feed and things like that. So thanks for watching the live version, but I will have a better quality one that will be up in the next day or so as well, in case you missed something or something cut out during the feed.
Yeah.
That'll be up as well.
Yeah, the streaming stuff that's going on right now is really crazy. All the live concerts that are going on. There's also been a couple in like the bass music scene. There's been like some full 2-day festivals that they put on with like live performances, and just all from like Twitch and Zoom and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, how crazy is it that See, for me, I just had a kid. Well, I say just had a kid. I had a kid about a year ago. A little over a year. So haven't been out and seen any bands or done anything, and now I'm getting to catch up with a lot of these bands that I haven't got to go out and actually see. It's actually kind of a good thing for some people that don't get to go out and see all these bands play.
Yeah, Yeah, and I don't see this whole momentum that's been done with the whole live virtual thing. I don't see it slowing down even when the virus goes away. I think this is really I think it's opened up a whole new revenue stream for bands that can't necessarily afford to get out there enough to get picked up by some kind of promotion agent or something like that, and they can handle it all from the internet even and present a live show without having to do the politics of getting into bars.
Tell me about the politics. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Because I run Nick's Ice House here in Hattiesburg, and there's bands constantly fighting over dates to play in there because they want to record in there because of that room.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, now you can, I mean, I think some of the bands that can't get in, they don't, because I've had bands sometimes I've tried to get in at certain establishments, and we just got straight up told no, like you don't have enough music videos or content. I don't know who you are. Like they wouldn't even respond. So now they can just set up in their living room and have a show. Right there. I think it's pretty awesome. I definitely hope it keeps going, especially for me. You can't get out as much as I'd like to. I can catch up with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting thing to see because and a lot of these cool things you see now, a lot of these big artists are like putting them together classes and stuff to teach people how to make music, which is always nice to see because usually that to get those like master's classes and things like that, the professional tutorials, not just random YouTube videos, is usually quite expensive to get your hands on.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a whole new world. It's the virus brought in a lot of crap and a lot of awesome things came out of necessity out of it. I think we'll be completely different coming out the other end for sure, especially music wise and I mean, my sister's a teacher and she's sitting at home teaching a room full of kindergartners every day from home. What can happen whenever you have to make something happen is pretty astounding. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's been nice for me because a lot of the people that I work with are very remote, but it's been nice that everybody now that a lot of these streaming services have stepped up their game, and it's not because prior to this a lot of these call quality was bad, but now they've actually gotten the systems working because they had to make it work with so many people, so you can do a lot. It's the Twitch stuff has gotten way better. People are learning how to. People are like, it's almost like people have been forced to learn a new medium to work with.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I lost your video. There you are. It went out and came back.
Yeah.
So.
But
yeah, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I was just gonna make conversation.
Well, I was gonna say I saw Drew. I saw you playing with a Les Paul, and I'm a big Les Paul guy. And do you have? I guess it's the Lee something with the. I think it's Bring Me the Horizons guitars, or am I thinking of someone completely different right now?
Something like that.
It's like
it's a custom guitar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that an Epiphone?
It's an Epiphone. Yeah.
If I showed you my Epiphone collection, you'd laugh at me. But like, I got a bunch of Epiphones. I love the Epiphone Les Pauls. But the one you got's got the P90 in the neck and the regular humbucker in the bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
I dig it. It's awesome. I've been wanting to play one of those, but just bringing that up, I think it's a pretty awesome and sick guitar.
Yeah.
It's a pretty blues sounding guitar.
Is
I was
it?
surprised to find out.
I
It plays really great blues. Yeah.
Oh, that's probably
that guitar records very well too. It sends out a great direct signal.
well. I'm gonna have to go get one. Maybe not that exact Les Paul, but I think he had a RD and a Explorer version of that too. So it's cool. Well, I don't know if we have.
If you say something to me and I just stand here because the video's picking up, and I can't always hear, so I apologize.
No, I thought you were just being like,
Yeah.
I don't care about what you're saying, man.
But Yeah. Getting to work with Drew has been an interesting thing because I like you said that guitar does sound very bluesy, and it's interesting to like find new ways to add that sound into stuff that's not your normal, just like acoustic backing, like a traditional. It's interesting to work with. It's the sound like that that's not being used in a traditional band setting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's nice because it does. It like I said, it has such a nice clean signal. You can do a lot of amp modeling and sound design with that guitar tone.
I just got bias amp, bias effects. The amount of sounds and quality sounds you can get out of that is ridiculous. Like I was talking about, 10 years ago when I was recording, I'd have to mic up an amp, and to have a high gain amp, I'd have to go buy a $2,000 Mesa Boogie or something. Now I can just turn it on. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not going to be a perfect Mesa Boogie, but I'm not recording a $200,000 track either. So, anything you want to do, I had a guy tell me, he's like, there's no reason for you not to be making and putting out perfect, badass, any kind of music that you want that's in your head. You have access to it. If you got a computer and a tiny keyboard, like you can do whatever you want. So we're in a very good age for music.
Yeah, and nowadays you can get really nice MIDI controllers to do whatever you need to do with the drum pads, and you can, like with the technology now, you can use a drum pad to play a perfect guitar solo because of how well the software tracks nowadays.
Yeah, I've seen those people that just I haven't actually used them. It's just a big grid. I guess you got one actually behind you.
Yeah, I've got one. This is it's an Ableton Push. I use Ableton for all my stuff.
I've never actually gotten into Ableton. I started with Pro Tools and then went to Logic.
I use Pro Tools some, but I prefer Ableton just strictly because of the it's a much superior
live workflow too.
Yeah, it's a superior creative tool. Pro Tools, in my opinion, is still better for recording, doing traditional like band recording. But if you're trying to do like really heavy creation and a lot of sound design style, Ableton's really nice because of its modular workflow and Max for Live, which is like you can build your own effects and everything, and like if you can think it up, you can make it happen because of that open source software they use.
Doesn't that also let you like link videos and lights and stuff to it?
Yeah, I can. My effects for my live show, I've got my DJ board is MIDI controlled, so as you move the faders around and all that stuff, it controls video feeds.
That's all. I've always wanted to dabble in DJing, but I've never gotten around to getting a turntable. But I'm sure it's completely like you have to be a computer programmer to understand it. You got to be a genius to do it. Is what I'm getting at.
Change the game a lot.
I'm getting a little interference, I think.
No, it takes a lot more pre-planning to work.
I think I had a couple glitches there. I caught up when you said pre-planning is where we got.
Yeah. When you're using Ableton Live to DJ, it requires a lot of pre-planning. Just if you like, because you can essentially make a song live in front of somebody, but you have to plan that out because you have to have all your. It's got a very basic browser set up, so you have to kind of like know where you're going before you start, or you're gonna get lost in the browser trying to find samples and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think DJs don't get enough credit, especially in the live music scene. A lot of times you hear people say the most famous one is DJ push play or something. Like it's just a button. I mean, get on there and try to make. I dabbled in Fruity Loops growing up.
Yeah.
You got to make the loop. You got to put the loop where you want it. There's all kinds of mixing it. You're essentially recording a song just with samples instead, or I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I'm sure you got all kinds of other crazy stuff you're doing now with it, but
like you can do some pretty crazy improv stuff, especially on those expensive pro tour and DJ rigs. Those like the ones that are like $20,000. Those Pioneer DJ setups, you can pretty much like you can take a song and turn it into a 30-minute long mashup of a bunch of stuff with how you can sample and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
It's art. It's art engineering is what it is.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people that are really big DJ. I've talked to a couple big DJs. It's pretty much like mixing a song, like a professional, like a studio mixing a song live on stage is more what it's like than anything.
yeah. The rock side of the music industry just for some reason has an issue with it. I've always really liked DJs and
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't really get into even listening to that kind of music till of course was Skrillex. I guess he got a lot of the rock people into listening to that. That changed my whole view of music. I was like, this is rock, but not. It's I don't know. I guess it was dubstep is technically.
Yeah, dubstep really. It like I was been in the dubstep scene since all that happened and even before. Once kind of like Skrillex and Bass Nectar got really big, like anybody that used to be super into the early 2000s metal scene kind of made that transition to people like Bass Nectar and stuff like that. Like if you go to the big Bass Nectar shows or any of the big electronic shows, you see everybody there is like like hard like Mayhem Fest style people.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that turned into one of those trends that I don't know. Maybe the other electronic artists didn't care for that much.
Yeah, the rave culture kind of sucked up a lot of the underground rock and roll scene.
Well, what'd you think about one of my favorite drummer of all time is Travis Barker, and he used to play with DJ AM. I thought some of that shit was tight.
Yeah. And that's if you go to at the music festivals nowadays, it's a big thing to see like a lot of DJs. Basically, they're like taking a bunch of inputs from a band and like mixing them live together on stage.
I've never heard of that. That sounds awesome though.
If you go look up a band called Manic Focus and Emancipator Ensemble, it's basically a dude that's taking improv loops from a whole band and on the fly mixing them together into songs.
Wow.
That's like you're getting into like conductor, like the maestro at that point. You know, you got You know, somebody should do
Puppet
that.
master.
Someone should do it with a real orchestra. You know, like the flutes and the tambourines, and timpanis, and everything.
What is it? So at Halloween every year at Sewanee, they have the Grand Ole Opry. They do it with the Grand Ole Opry.
The Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, it's like a bluegrass style electronic thing with I'm sure you call it the String Cheese Incident.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
The String Cheese, that's the Halloween String Cheese Music Festival. So it's really cool because it's like electronic music with very heavily influenced by bluegrass.
That's a mix of right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Wow. I have to check that out. See, this is why like I've been out of the game. I need to get back in and see what everybody's doing because that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah. The String Cheese Incident has made a lot of big things. They're like our generation's Grateful Dead. They're one of the bands that toured 365.
That's like I don't understand this. I have a friend that's a real big fish head. And he's like, yeah, I'm going up to New York to watch.
Me too.
And I'll be like, I was like, oh, who else is playing? It's like a 2 or 3 day festival. He's like, it's just Fish. They're playing all day. Like that's all the only person playing is Fish. And I'm like, you're going to watch? He's like, yeah, I want to watch Fish.
I love me some Fish, man. They're
gonna play for 100 hours straight.
Yeah,
just standing there, like playing. I can't even stand up that long. But I mean, Trey Anastasio. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. He's got a really good rig, like rundown type thing. It's not a rig rundown, but he talks about all of his gear, and he's legit. Like he's got the same cab he's had since like the '80s, and the same head he's using. He's got like 3 guitars. He uses that one guitar, and then he's like, I use this little $5 compressor pedal and 2 tube screamers, and then I got all this stuff. And he goes over, and it's just like, you know, I guess if you play 365 days a year, you get to know your stuff. But he's a really good guitar player, and he can get a really good tone out of his instrument. It was very. I didn't expect that. I've never really listened to Fish, but watching his run, and I was like, this dude knows his shit for like 100%.
And the Fish. Like the Fish work they soundboard.
I cut out right as I stopped talking.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, like I was saying, Fish is like the whole thing that makes Fish happen. That's such a well-oiled machine because of how long they've been doing it and how well they've done at it. It's amazing to see what they can do, just like setting stuff up and tearing stuff down so fast. Because like most bands take a day to set up anything like that.
Well, I mean they're doing it every day. I guess they're still touring. I saw where they I think made a song inside the house. Like I saw Trey.
Yeah, they're still playing somewhere right now.
Yeah.
They're literally playing right now. Like they could all be separate in their houses, but they're still playing something.
Yeah.
It does a lot of live streams.
Yeah, they do. They live stream most of their shows and they record them all. So.
Oh, I know. Like the people that are fish heads. I don't know if you call them fish heads. People who really like Fish, they'll be like, "Yeah, this is from June 6th, 92. The one they did on June 8th is a little different in this section of the song. Like they know like each day, like per day, the song and how it changes. It's astonishing. I couldn't tell you like bands I really like they have one version of the damn song and they got like
they've had some bad days too.
This year wasn't their best year. It's like wine connoisseurs, but with Fish.
Yeah, I know the show they did last year at Bonnaroo. That was an amazing show. That's the last one I actually got to go see.
I feel like you have to be in a certain state of mind at a Fish concert. It's kind of a requirement, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely swimming through the ocean.
He's got that. Doesn't he have a bell? He rings. Ding.
Yeah. They got a little bit of everything in Fish, man. I've seen a lot of shit go down at a Fish concert.
I can imagine some pretty interesting things go down at a Fish concert. Even their tickets. Somebody, one of my friends went and had a ticket, and it was like fancy. Like I was like, I don't even want to just keep this and frame this thing. Don't even make them turn it in.
I've got buddies that have collected like hundreds of tickets, or like hundreds of shows worth of tickets, and have them all displayed with each one with the different art and stuff on it.
Well, see, I mean, this is an example right there of a live rock band that doesn't have. They're not on the radio. They're not big. They're not on like. I mean, not when I say big, they're not like mainstream big. They're like underground, huge underground.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's still happening out there. You hear a lot of rock is dead and rock music is going away, but some of it is with but it's still out there. It's still going.
We'll bring it back.
Definitely, if you go to
Psilosophy's bringing it back. Single-handedly bringing it back. You heard it here on my podcast first. Single-handedly bringing rock and roll back.
Yep. It's interesting to say. I've seen rock being on the road all year with the music festival stuff. I've seen it. You still see rock and roll, but you don't see this. You don't see the rock and roll anymore. But it's crazy because nowadays rock.
We had another clip out again.
Humphreys McGee is always a a great rock and roll reference, I think, right now.
Humphreys McGee's Zonky album was killer. Did y'all check that out? That's probably
Oh
been out
yeah,
for years
oh
and years and
yeah.
years. But that was
I love them from Mickey.
the
Their live shows are crazy.
well, what I first noticed about them is usually you hear a live band and it's loud sounding. It doesn't sound perfect. Their live shows sound like a straight up recording studio, like perfectly mixed.
Mhm.
The
Dude.
drums sound perfect. The guitar sounds perfect. And I was like, they must be doing something. I was like, one of the guitarists was talking about his guitar. He plays a PRS, and he said, "Oh, this is the Tremonti version. I just go into a music store and buy one off the shelf, like the SE version, like the just bottom end." I was like, well, damn. I mean, everything you've been told your whole life, you need all, like expensive stuff. One of the best sounding bands, he's just playing a regular ass guitar. It's that's what shocked me about Humphreys McGee is just quality in a live setting, which doesn't happen all the time, but they were probably some of the best sounding I've heard.
Yeah. Another good example of bands kind of like Humphreys is you got bands like STS9 that make like nine people just come together perfectly mixed. And when you see their live shows, especially their they have a couple different types of it, but they're like Journey style sets where they're like doing a whole improv thing. It's amazing to watch.
I've never heard of them, but I'll definitely check it out. 9 people on stages.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
STS9 is kind of like it's kind of like the electronic band sound. It's like the electronic Fish, basically. They're touring all the time.
Sound Tribe.
Yeah, Sound Tribe. And they're astonishingly big for a band you probably never heard of.
Maybe that's the key to it, I guess, is
because they're any music festival when they're going on during the summer, like at Bonnaroo, STS9 plays like 5 or 6 sets.
And it's the same people. They don't leave. They just stand right there.
Yeah,
Like, we're
they
not
just
going
stay up
anywhere.
there.
I got the front. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I need to start checking into the more electronic scene. I remember there was a band I really liked called, and if I say something that's just not cool, it's because I don't know what's cool or not cool. But they were called Animal Collective. They had a pretty cool song that I liked back in the day. I don't know if y'all have heard of them, but I don't know what they do live. I only saw their music video, where they just have a keyboard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, electronic music is the power you can get out of electronic music is what I really like. Is when you have a real thick like bass lead with a kick going. It's hard to get that out of a rock sound. But when you have like a nice, like, I'm not gonna mimic it with my mouth, but that's we need going on in the area for sure. So I think
You're back. Oh.
we're here.
Yeah, but what you were saying, like the kick and the bass stuff. Yeah, that's kind of my genre. I mean, I do like electronic like bass music where it's centered around like sub creation and stuff like that. And it's crazy the sounds you can get out of like a actual bass without doing a lot of overtone synth work. If you use saturation and a little bit of delay and stuff like that, you can really create some cool stuff.
No, you're talking about like a bass track or like an electric bass guitar.
What I use is I use a Moog Subsequent 37 bass synth, which is like their flagship bass synthesizer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can make it sound like you can pretty much make it sound however you want. You can make it sound like a bass guitar pluck, or you can do like more traditional like big sine wave stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like a bzz, but nothing like that. Okay. I think we're paused here. I don't know if you can hear me. Are we back?
Yeah.
I see you guys moving again.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get that.
You can go ahead.
When you start doing synthetic creation, it gets really crazy because you can come up with some really unique stuff.
That's where it starts going over my head. I'm when it comes to me and synth type stuff, it's I'm picking a preset and then I'll tweak a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever Logic's offering me, I'll do that. I've used when I was at Southern, they had pretty much every plug-in that existed built into their studio, and I'd go into some of that, and it was just like, this is too much. And sometimes it wouldn't work, and you're like, oh, I got to connect these two things to this. I was like, that's why I have a whole lot of respect for the electronic music creators out there. It's not as simple as pushing a button or turning a knob. So. Well, I mean, it looks like we're coming up on an hour here, so it might be a good time to wrap it up.
Okay. So it's been good talking. I appreciate you having us on, man.
Oh yeah, thank you guys for
Yeah,
coming
thanks,
on
Bobby.
Thanks for letting me, debut your new video and song. It was a pleasure and an honor for me. So I got to get back into learning, new types of music and stuff. So feel free to send me stuff like songs and bands you like. I'd love to hear it. We still cutting out here.
You say something about bands we like?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Repeat that last part.
just make sure, I was saying I'd like to get in, learn more about electronic and stuff. So if y'all got some cool bands, send them over to me and let me check them out. I'd love to get into stuff that I'm not familiar with, especially, newer stuff.
And ditto.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think my internet's telling me that we're freezing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if y'all ever want to come back on the show, hit me up. One of y'all or both of y'all, if y'all have a new song come out, hit me up. I'd love to have you back. And thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Cool.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
Yep. Send us a link when you get it all cut down.
All right, I will. Thanks.
Appreciate.
See you guys.
I appreciate you.
Here we go. That was Medicineman and Psilosophy. That was an awesome song they have just released. Make sure and go check that out on their channel or their Facebook page and Instagram. I'll have links and stuff to that below. Also, don't forget to go over to my page. On the 22nd, I'm going to be hosting another live stream. I'm going to be playing songs, original songs from the creators around the area or across the country, wherever you are. If you want to send me a song and you want me to play it on the podcast, I'd love to have it. Just send it over to my email. That's ambulancestudios with 2 A's @gmail.com. I'm also having that tasty riff contest. I kind of want to call it more of a tasty riff challenge, not really a contest. So something 20 seconds or less. Take out your phone, record yourself, plug into your computer, go to $1 million recording studio. I don't care. Record yourself playing a sick, tasty riff. You can do this on guitar, bass, drums, piano, whatever you want to do. Just make sure and get it recorded and send it over to me. And I'm also going to play that on the podcast on the 22nd as well. Make sure and check out my photography page. That's Gradient Skies Photography. I'm on Instagram and I'm also on Facebook. I'm not actually booking right now, but once this whole quarantine thing is over, I'll be right back at it. I do band photos, band videos, compilations for promo kits and things like that as well. Make sure and go over to my page at Ambulance Studios at Facebook. And I have playlists for songs that you all have submitted from my last live stream and songs that I've been uploading that I think are pretty cool songs that you can be checking out right now. That's on Spotify and on Apple Music. And my podcasts are going to be available on Facebook, YouTube, and also on all the major platforms such as Apple Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify as well. So make sure and go and check that out. My next guest coming up is going to be Andrew Gloss. He is the front man of the 86 Olympics. He's going to be on Saturday. We're going to be talking about what he's doing, and he's got a show coming up on the whole live stream thing. Should be really awesome. He's a total 80s music head. He, really loves that. They're a big synth band, tons of synth parts and things like that. Really great musician with perfect hearing. It's kind of weird, actually, how he can hear perfect notes and stuff. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you to Medicineman and Psilosophy for being on, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.